All right, so let's dive into this AI and copyright thing.
Yeah, it's a pretty fascinating area, isn't it?
You gave me this in-depth report from the U.S. Copyright Office, and it's called Copyright and Artificial Intelligence, Part 2, Copyrightability.
Okay.
It's dated January 2025.
Right.
And we're trying to break it down, for everybody.
Very good one.
We've got AI creating text and images and music.
Yeah.
But who owns all that?
Yeah.
Can you really call a robot an author?
These are the exact questions the report is grappling with.
Okay. So
It's a lot more complex than you might think at first.
So before we get into like the legal stuff,
Right.
Can you just give us like a super quick explanation of
Sure.
how generative AI works?
Yeah.
A lot of people hear AI and just think of like sci-fi movies, you know?
Well, think of it this way.
Okay.
You give the AI some input,
Okay.
could be text, image, a piece of music, anything.
Okay.
And it gets processed through this crazy complex model. And something totally new comes out the other end.
Wow.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Even the folks who build these AI systems
Right.
don't fully understand how that input becomes the output. It's this black box. And that's really at the core of the whole copyright debate.
Black box. I like that.
Yeah.
So we're all impressed by what AI can do.
Right.
But the law is like, wait a minute.
Yeah, the report is very clear about that.
Okay.
U.S. copyright law requires a human author.
Okay.
No robots allowed yet.
Okay.
And this is rooted in the Constitution,
Uh-huh.
going way back.
So it doesn't matter how smart the AI gets.
Yeah.
Legally, they're not authors.
Not authors.
It's kind of like that monkey selfie case.
Right.
Court said monkeys can't own copyright.
Exactly same principle.
Same principle.
At least for now.
For now.
Yeah. But it gets a little bit more tricky when we bring in prompts.
Okay.
Those instructions we feed the AI.
Right.
That's where it gets interesting.
So like if I tell an AI to create an image of a cat wearing a hat, does that make me the author?
Well, not exactly.
Okay.
The report goes deep into the whole world of prompts.
Okay.
And makes a distinction between like a simple prompt
Okay.
and a more detailed one.
Okay.
The simple prompts are really just ideas, not the final expression.
Okay.
So you saying cat wearing a hat
Right.
doesn't give you copyright
Gotcha.
over what the AI makes.
So what about those super detailed prompts?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
whole page long.
Yeah, like a movie script or something.
Yeah. Does that change things?
That's where it gets really blurry.
Okay.
The report suggests that even those really detailed prompts
Okay.
might not be enough to get you copyright.
Wow.
And they use a really good example.
Okay.
They use an image of a cat in a robe
Okay.
to kind of show this point.
Okay.
The AI's final image followed some of the instructions,
Uh-huh.
but it ignored others.
Oh, wow.
So it's still choosing how to express the idea.
So even with like a detailed roadmap, the AI is still making its own decisions.
It is, yeah.
That's wild.
The report also talks about authorship by adoption.
Okay.
That's when you keep tweaking the prompts
Okay.
until you get what you want.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Interesting.
They compare it to like a slot machine.
Oh.
You know?
Okay.
You might win eventually, but that doesn't mean you created the machine.
Right.
Same with AI. You're guiding it, but not authoring it.
Okay. So no copyright jackpot for prompt gamblers.
No, none for them.
But it gets even more complex, I imagine,
Yeah.
when you add in your own copyrighted work.
Right.
So what if I take my own drawing
Okay.
and ask the AI to colorize it?
Uh-huh.
Who owns the copyright then?
That's where the lines start to blur.
Okay.
When you use your own copyrighted material,
Right.
you keep the copyright on your contribution.
Okay.
They compare it to a derivative work.
Okay.
You're building on what you already made.
So I own my drawing. But what about the colors and textures the AI adds?
Yeah, that's where it gets nuanced.
Okay.
They use a really good example in the report. It's called Rose Enigma.
Okay.
You can see how the human artist's work is still there.
Right.
But the question of who owns those AI additions,
Yeah.
that's still fuzzy.
So this is getting into some pretty
Oh, yeah.
murky waters.
It is.
But is there any good news for people like me
Well,
who aren't,
sure.
artists creating original work?
Well, there is some good news.
Okay.
Editing, arranging, or adding to AI content
Okay.
can get you copyright,
Okay.
but only for the human stuff you add.
So it's like editing a rough draft or
Exactly.
making a photo album from found images.
That's a great way to think about it.
My choices,
Yeah.
my arrangements, those are protected.
Those are the things that are.
Okay.
And they give some really concrete examples.
Okay.
Like Midjourney's Very Region tool that lets you tweak parts of an AI image.
Oh.
Or combining human writing with AI pictures.
Yeah, mixing the best of both worlds.
That's what it's all about.
So there's hope for us humans then.
Oh, there's definitely hope.
In this AI world.
Your choice is your boarding. Your decisions.
Yeah.
That's where the power is.
That's good to know.
Something to think about.
So before we move on, I'm curious about the global perspective on all this.
Okay.
Are other countries, on the same page when it comes to AI and copyright?
Broadly speaking, yes.
Okay.
The report says most countries agree.
Okay.
Human authorship, that's the foundation of copyright.
Okay.
And AI output on its own.
Right.
Not copyrightable, at least for now.
For now, but I'm guessing there are some differences.
Oh, yeah.
Emerging.
Absolutely.
As different countries kind of wrestle with all this?
They are.
Yeah.
China, for example.
Okay.
They seem more open to protecting AI art that comes from those really detailed prompts.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And the UK, they already have a law in the books.
Huh.
For computer-generated works, it's a really fast-moving landscape.
Yeah.
Every country's figuring out their own approach.
So the big question everyone's thinking, should we change the law to address AI and copyright?
Should we just fix it all right now?
Yeah. Is that what this report is recommending?
Well, the report looks at both sides.
Okay.
Some people think extending copyright to AI works would be great for innovation.
Okay.
Empower creators with disabilities and help us keep up globally.
Those are some compelling arguments.
They are.
But I'm assuming there are some downsides.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Like what?
Some people worry about too much AI content.
Yeah.
Drowning out the human stuff.
Right.
And then there's the ethical question. Is giving AI the same rights as humans?
Right.
Kind of blurring the lines too much.
Right.
These are complex issues.
So where does the Copyright Office land on this?
So for now, they're saying no to new laws. They want to see how the tech develops.
So they're taking a wait-and-see approach.
Yeah, it makes sense when you think about how fast it's all changing.
Yeah, who knows what it'll look like in a year.
Exactly.
So much to think about already.
I know.
And we've just scratched the surface.
We have.
But let's stop here, and we'll pick up the discussion in part 2.
Sounds good.
We'll go deeper into those arguments for and against expanding copyright to include AI works.
Looking forward to it. Welcome back.
Yeah, we're back.
To our
deep
dive into AI and copyright.
It's a deep one.
As we continue this deep dive, it's important to remember that things are changing all the time.
The legal landscape is constantly shifting.
Exactly. And as the technology itself advances, these issues are only going to get more complicated.
More complex, more nuanced.
For sure.
So let's pick up where we left off.
Okay.
With those arguments for and against extending copyright protection to those AI-generated works.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
We already talked about some of the downsides, like stifling human creativity or blurring the lines between humans and machines.
Legally.
But let's look at the other side.
Okay.
What are the arguments in favor of expanding protection?
Okay. I'm all ears.
Well, one of the main ones is incentivizing innovation.
Okay.
The idea is if companies and people knew they could own the copyright to this AI-generated content, they'd be more likely to invest in developing it.
So it's about giving them that financial incentive.
Yeah, the carrot and stick approach.
Right.
Dangle the reward, and you'll get more creativity.
So copyright's always been about encouraging creativity.
Exactly.
But wouldn't this also lead to, a flood of AI content?
Yeah, that's a valid concern.
Right.
The report talks about that.
Yeah.
It's a balancing act.
Right.
How do we encourage AI innovation?
Yeah.
But not hurt human artists and musicians and writers.
Right, because we don't want them to lose their livelihoods.
Exactly.
It's almost like opening Pandora's box.
That's a good way to put it.
Once we unleash this, who knows what'll happen.
Right. It's important to remember, though.
Yeah.
This isn't just theoretical.
Right.
AI is already out there making stuff.
It is.
Music, artwork, even literature.
So this copyright question, it's pretty urgent.
It's not just a problem for the future.
It's a problem for right now.
We're dealing with it right now.
And that brings us to another argument in favor.
Okay.
Empowering creators with disabilities.
Yeah, this is a big one.
So for people who might face barriers to traditional ways of creating AI, could be huge.
It could be a game changer.
Like a writer with limited mobility, they could use AI to get their thoughts down.
Or a musician who can't play an instrument,
Right.
but can use AI to compose.
This is about accessibility, then.
It is.
Everyone gets to participate.
Exactly.
Regardless of limitations.
Leveling the playing field.
Leveling the playing field. I like that.
And then there's international competition.
Right. We talked about that before.
Different countries.
Yeah, different approaches.
Different approaches.
Yeah.
If the U.S. is strict about human authorship and other countries are more open to AI,
right,
American creators might be at a disadvantage.
We could fall behind.
Potentially, yeah.
So our decisions here have global implications.
They do. It's a complex issue.
It is.
We want to protect human creators,
right,
but we don't want to stop innovation.
And we have to think about the global market.
A lot to consider.
So with all these different perspectives,
yeah,
what's the Copyright Office's final recommendation?
Well, for now, they're saying no new laws.
Okay.
They want to see how things play out.
So a cautious approach?
A wait-and-see approach.
Makes sense.
Yeah, when you think about how fast it's all changing.
Right. It's hard to predict what it'll look like even a year from now.
Yeah, it really is.
It's almost like trying to hit a moving target.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
How do you make laws for something that's constantly changing?
Exactly.
So this ongoing monitoring that the Copyright Office recommends, that's really important.
So no matter what you think about all of this,
right,
staying informed is key.
Absolutely.
We can't just ignore it and hope it goes away.
AI is here to stay.
It is.
It's going to have huge impact.
Huge impact.
Understanding copyright in this new age.
Yeah.
It's essential. Whether
you're an artist or just someone who enjoys art.
Exactly.
So that brings us to a good point to transition.
Okay.
Let's move from the theory to the practical.
Sounds good.
In the next segment.
Yeah.
We'll look at some real-world examples of how this is all playing out.
Let's dive in.
Welcome back to the deep dive.
We're kind of shifting gears now from all the theory of AI and copyright to the real world, where it's already happening.
Yeah, it's not just a thought experiment anymore.
Exactly. AI is actually making stuff.
It is.
People are using it in all sorts of ways.
Yeah, and that's where those gray areas we talked about,
right,
they become really important.
They do.
Like the Copyright Office said, every case is different.
Every case needs to be looked at.
No easy answers.
No one size fits all.
So let's get into some real-world examples.
Okay.
What kind of stuff is popping up that's making us rethink copyright?
Well, let's start with music.
Okay.
AI is already having a big impact there.
It is.
We've got AI that can write melodies.
Wow.
Harmonies, even whole songs.
Really?
In all kinds of styles.
That's amazing.
But the question is, where's the human part?
Right.
Can we really call it original?
If it was composed by an algorithm.
If a computer did it all.
Yeah, and we talked about how U.S. law requires a human author.
Right.
So can these AI tunes even be copyrighted?
That's the big question.
Is it even possible?
Yeah, it's causing a lot of debate.
I bet.
If a human composer just gives the AI some basic instructions.
Okay.
And then puts their name on it. That's probably not going to fly.
Right.
Copyright law needs more than that.
Yeah, you can't just press a button and let the AI do everything.
It's like saying you wrote a novel.
Okay.
Just because you told someone.
Right.
Write me a story about a detective.
Yeah, you gave the idea.
You give the spark.
But the writing itself, the story, the characters, it's on the writer.
Exactly. But what if a musician uses AI more like a partner?
Okay.
Like they use AI for some melodies or chord progressions, and then they build on that.
Okay.
Add their own style, lyrics, arrangements.
That sounds more like a true collaboration.
Yeah, fusion.
Human and AI working together.
Working together.
Yeah.
And in those cases, the humans making choices, using their judgment, shaping the AI stuff. And that's where copyright comes in.
Exactly. It's about protecting those human contributions.
Okay.
That unique expression.
So we're not saying no to AI completely.
No, not at all.
It's about finding ways to use it that respect human creativity.
That's the key.
And that applies to all creative fields, right?
Yeah.
Writing visual arts film?
Absolutely.
Let's say you're a filmmaker.
Okay.
Using AI for special effects.
Okay.
Can you copyright those?
Like explosions and aliens.
Yeah, can you?
Again, it depends on the human element.
If you just told the AI spaceship battle or exploding planet.
Yeah, generic stuff.
Probably not going to get you copyright.
But what if I spend more time really using those AI tools to get specific things that match my vision?
Okay.
I tweak them, modify them, blend them with my own footage.
Now you're talking.
Now it's different?
You're not just taking whatever the AI gives you.
Right, I'm making choices.
You're shaping it. into something that's yours.
So even though it started with AI,
right,
my input, my decisions, that makes it copyrightable.
That's the idea.
So anyone using AI, they need to document everything.
They need to keep track.
Your choices.
Their process.
Show that human touch. Prove you're not just an operator.
Right.
You're a creator.
An author. A visionary.
Documentation is key.
It is. In this new world.
Yeah, it's like a record of your creative journey.
Exactly.
And as AI gets even better,
it's only going to get more complicated.
Yeah.
Authorship, ownership.
All of it.
We need to stay informed.
Yeah, keep talking about it.
And be ready to adapt.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the takeaway message?
Embrace AI.
Okay.
Explore it. Use it.
Oh, push the boundaries.
But don't forget about human creativity.
Right.
That's what copyright's all about.
That spark, that imagination.
What makes us human.
Yeah.
And sets us apart.
AI can help.
It can.
But it can't replace us.
No, it can't replace the magic.
The magic of human imagination.
Exactly. And as we go forward, we got to remember.
Okay.
Copyright is about protecting that.
Protecting that human element.
That's what it's all about.
Well said.
That's the end of our deep dive.
Yeah. This conversation's not over, though.
No, it isn't.
We'll keep exploring these things.
Absolutely.
In future episodes.
Stay curious. Stay creative.
That's a wrap on the deep dive.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll be back soon
with another topic to get you thinking.
Until then, keep those creative fires burning.